Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan Battle video, and today we are taking on the Vegeta family Extreme Super Battle Road, and we got some big players in here. This wasn't too hard at all, and this probably wasn't even the best team build I could have brought. I just kind of picked units that I thought would be pretty good here. Obviously Vegeta and Trunks, like they're gonna get the job done. And I'm pretty sure I don't go for no item run here. I just want to like get the mission done, or get the quest done. So I wasn't trying to do anything fancy here, but I think Bola is actually a pretty good floating support option here, just because she's got all that dodge. So I think she can do pretty well in like a Super Battle Road like setting. The big things that I brought that I kind of regretted a little bit, because I went into this, I didn't know what the phases were going to look like, right? But I brought AGL Majin Vegeta, which I like AGL Majin Vegeta, and like anytime I can find a reason to use an AoE unit, like anytime I can find a stage where I think an AoE unit might be good, like I want to use some of these AoE units, right? So my idea was I'd bring an AGL Majin Vegeta because he has stun, which is really good, and he's AoE. He still wasn't the worst for this, but I didn't realize all the phases were only 2 characters. So it really wasn't like the best to get. I was hoping to have waves of like 4 or 5 characters and have AGL Majin Vegeta kind of nuke him out. Didn't really happen. But he's there, he does some damage. He's just a card that's nostalgic for me. I remember, like, back when I was pretty new, like, I wouldn't say new to Dokkan, like, I've been playing Dokkan since it came out, right? But this was probably when I started getting a little bit more serious into the game. It was on AGL Majin Vegeta here, on LR Majin Vegeta's initial release, which on Global back then, these LRs were, like, hidden. Like, they weren't featured on the banner. It was, I remember it was a Dragon Carnival banner that featured Tech Majin Vegeta. And this was, like, the banner was just all banner units. Like, no Dokkan Fest, nothing, right? And it was just a Dragon Carnival double rates banner. And it was, I think it was the first banner ever in the game that I wailed on. Yeah, I think it was the first one where I remember going, like, a lot of stones. And, like, for a lot of stones for me back then would have been, like, 500 to 1,000 stones. That was like a lot of stones to me back then to use on a banner. Like, I had never gone that crazy. But I discovered that this guy was like unfeatured on the banner, and it was his initial. That for those of you that are newer to Dokkan, you don't realize how hard LRs used to be. AGL Majin Vegeta and I believe STR Beerus, Mighty Mask, like these old LRs, like their initial releases, they were just unfeatured on like crap banners, and that was the only way to get them. You had to get really lucky and pull them unfeatured. Like they weren't even featured. Like the idea of LRs being featured on a banner was kind of crazy back, when they first did that. I was like, oh my god, they featured an LR. Wow, that's insane. I remember when like the year 3 LRs came out, they were the first, I believe the first ever Dokkan Fest LRs. It's just like, oh my god, they're just putting LRs featured on a banner? Like, can they do that? Like, that's crazy. I mean, that's what the game used to be. LRs were like the most sacred, like hard to get thing. And they were really busted back then because the game didn't have crazy high leader skills. So like pure stats was like the king back then, right? So like Int LR Gohan, Int LR Broly, or STR Broly, right? And like AGL Majin Vegeta, these were like the kings of the game. Even for like Broly, who had like flat passives, right? Like not even percentage boost. These characters were just like the kings of the game because their stats were so high. And we didn't have insane leader skills, right? When you're running a 70% leader skill, right? Like, which was kind of the meta around that time. If you're running a 70% lead, you're going to get a lot more out of the pure stats than you would from the leader skill, right? So these LRs were just crazy. And yeah, they were just really hard to get. So yeah, a lot of nostalgia for AGL Majin Vegeta. So anytime I can break them out, I like to use them here, right? So far the fight's going pretty clean. It's really just putting Trunks and Vegeta in slot 1 every turn. Not really worrying about them dying. This is where I'm like, yeah, and I've got a Wisan right here also. So I've already kind of broken the seal on items. So at this point, I'm just going to go crazy because you never want to underestimate these Extreme Super Battle Roads, because especially for like big time categories, like Vegeta family is a pretty, there's a lot of good units in Vegeta family. So the better the category, the harder the stage is going to be. They kind of tune it to the category. And all it takes is one super attack on the wrong unit and you're out of there, right? So I'm like, yeah, since I'm recording and I just want to get a nice solid run in, and I'm fine if I use items. You know, what might actually be fun if I find the time to record it or get the desire to, because I've never been one to like record. Like, I have some no item runs on my channel, but I'm not one that like goes into it like saying, all right, challenge runs, let's do no item runs, whatever. But that could be a fun thing to do just with like with Orange Piccolo, just because I've already been posting a bunch of Orange Piccolo, and I have some no item runs in there, but I don't go into the fight thinking that I'm going to do a no item run. When I do no item runs, it's just because it naturally happens. But it could be kind of fun to basically take Orange Piccolo and try to just sweep the game no item run, which probably he could do fairly easily. Obviously, in Super Battle Road, you can't sweep all the stages with him because he's not eligible. But any stage that Orange Piccolo is eligible on, probably pretty easy to no item run these stages. The thing is, too, is like Super Battle Road, like, he goes Orange Piccolo fast enough that you could see Orange Piccolo, and then you're just getting free turns and just wiping these guys out, right? I don't know, that guy's just a monster. I do struggle a little bit with Int Majin Vegeta here, just like, because I think you gotta get him like 6 orbs to get his extra damage reduction. I kind of struggle to get that, right? Like, he definitely can be an issue for that Vegeta. But he works good. He's a good defensive unit. I do like that Int Majin Vegeta. And it's just nice that we have like a good chunks to pair him with. The thing, I'm going to go back to AGL Majin Vegeta. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with his EZA, but there still, to this day, isn't like a reasonable Bulma card you can run. I guess they came out with a free-to-play Vegeta Bulma, but like, that's not a card you actually want to run. Like, what they need to do is just make like a really good standalone Bulma card that's like a good support unit. Like, basically take Chilai's kit and slap it on a Bulma. That's what they need to do. The problem is by the time that Bulma comes, like this, I mean, AGL LR Vegeta is already outdated. Like, he's not ever like a top choice you want to run on a team, right? Like, unless you're in an AoE situation, like, he's never a unit that's going to come to your mind. So even if we do get this hypothetical Bulma at some point, is it really going to matter? Probably not. They just really shafted him in that, right? And I was even thinking, too, because they put that passive in, like, alright, if you're not going to release a Bulma, at least EZA STR Vegeta Bulma. They, to this day, have not EZA'd that unit. Low-key, that Vegeta and Bulma could be a very good EZA. Because if you guys remember, when they did the EZA for the free-to-play Yardrat Goku, he was actually kind of impressive because he has counters. So Vegeta and Bulma, they are a counter unit, which there are not many counter units in the game. And the later they EZA that Vegeta Bulma, the crazier they really could end up being. Because imagine them with like damage reduction and like counters and maybe built-in crits or something. Like, I don't know, they could be sneaky good. We'll have to wait and see. I do remember though, when that Vegeta and Bulma first came out, I think they were considered like the best banner unit in the game, just because they were a counter unit, right? Like, because back then it was like AGL Vegito and Physical Vegito Blue. Like, those were the 2 counter units in the game. And I think that was literally the 3rd counter unit in the game. There could have been another one there. But you guys have seen it with Great Saiyan Man 3, like how busted he ended up being during the Hero Celebration. Just dishes out a ton of damage, right? I do like the Xeno Vegeta, the Xeno Goku, so they're good supports. If I'm running, you know, a lot of Goku family or Vegeta family, I usually like to include them. And they do stack, but they're not going to be good enough for like Red Zone or anything like that. But, you know, for Super Battle Road, you can get away with some of these units, especially if you're willing to use items, right? But here, I'm pretty sure we're going to take out this phase here with all the damage we got. Yeah, see, even there, we only got 5 orbs. Like, Int Majin Vegeta is struggling for key. If we could guarantee get him those 6 orbs he needs, that would be really, really nice for him. But who knows? I mean, I think Int Majin Vegeta, now we're talking way down the road, like 2 to 3 years. Whenever he EZAs, he could be really insane, because he's still really good right now, but like, anytime you get like upgrades to these damage reduction units, if they do them well, they can become insane. Like, look at, the prime example is Tech God Goku. Tech God Goku's a unit that he was solid on release, and he was just like an okay unit. He kind of had some niche uses, right? but it was strictly against movie bosses, and he could like seal and stuff. But dude, when they upgraded him and then added Pure Saiyans onto his passive, like holy cow, did he become like instantly one of the best banner units in the game. And you've seen God Goku all over my runs, right? For all types of hard events. He's just like so central to the meta right now, with superheroes and movie heroes being like two big teams they're pushing right now. Tech God Goku's just all over the place. Probably one of the MVP units of the past year, maybe 2 years. Like, he's crazy. So anyways, there you go. Vegeta family just cleaning up. I know I was kind of just talking about random stuff as the fight went through there, but it was pretty straightforward, right? You bring in a bunch of beefy Vegeta units, Vegeta family units, and you just let Trunks and Vegeta do their thing, and you get it done, right? So anyways, guys, let me know how your runs are going. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.